Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's just two movies.
All right, Nate, you ready to get... I forgot that's not a cocktail. It's just a glass of whiskey.
Oh.
You ready to get cracking?
Yep.
Welcome back to another... I didn't throw a marker down. God fucking damn it. It's just how today's going. Great. Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King. In the studio with me this evening, my nephew, Nate.
Hello.
What's up, Nate?
Sailing.
This fucking guy. This guy. If it is your first time tuning into the show, what we do is we watch two movies. Normally we'll watch one, it'll be whoever is the guest or myself, one of their favorite fucking movies. You just got to make your friend watch it. They watch it, we talk about it, and then we watch a movie that hopefully is so bad it's good, that has something in common with it. But this month, we are doing Frustrating February. So rather than something that I know for sure objectively is good, we are just watching a classic or something that had a big impact on cinema. And what are we watching this week, Nate?
We are watching Nosferatu.
That's right.
Of 1922.
That is correct. Nosferatu is a 1922 not rated horror fantasy film, 1 hour, 21 minute runtime. I watched it on Tubi. Actually, their ads are so breezy. It's got a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by F.W. Murnau, based on Dracula novel. Type of vampire, blood breed, or higher vampires. How do they know he was smoking that jazz cabbage? You know what I mean? They don't know that. Cause of death, exposure to sunlight. Number of acts, 5 acts. I'm just reading Google results now. So, Nate, for somebody who's never seen Nosferatu, which I would think is probably a wide margin of people, I think they probably would see Nosferatu and go, yeah, I fucking know that guy. He's in cartoons and all kinds of shit. He pops up everywhere in culture. This Is Why is from this film from the 20s. But what's it about?
All right, so imagine the Dracula story, but Dracula's not his name, and he has significantly less charisma.
Yeah, right. That was his dump stat.
Yeah.
That's his dump stat was for charisma. Also, you would just look at him and go, "That's a vampire." Yeah. There's nothing. He's not. He does kind of hide it, I guess, a little bit at first.
A little bit.
But there is also a look. If you're not into silent films, but you are curious about checking it out, there's also one that came out in 1979. Coincidentally, we both also watched that one.
Yeah.
But it's in Technicolor, or it might just be regular color at that point, and it has dialogue and stuff, and it's in English or whatever. But yeah, this guy's a vampire. He's like, maybe I want to buy a house next to you.
Right across the street.
Yeah. Then I'll...
In that building that looks like it's about to fall apart in the next couple of months.
So, yeah, I guess full spoilers for a movie from the 20s. Fuck you if you haven't seen it. We saw it before it was cool in 2024. So
102 years after the film came out.
Thank you for the quick math, Nate.
You're welcome.
All right, so what happens? You have some people, everybody's got kind of weird names in this. You have a couple, they're very much in love. The guy goes to work, and his boss is like, I have an assignment for you. And he's like a fucking weird, creepy little dude. And he's like, you're going to go to this guy's castle, and he's going to buy a house. Sell him this house right over here. Ha, 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 ha.
Oh, another thing to keep in mind, for scale-wise, the Dracula story is set in London, but Nosferatu is set in Germany.
Da. Nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, your nod of approval is not audible for our listeners.
I thought you were
but I appreciate the sentiment. Oh no, da. Like that.
Duh. It took me a second.
Correct.
Took me a second.
In the native tongue. So yeah, you got this couple, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to the castle. Oh, stay with my sister and her husband or whatever while I'm gone. I gotta go. Bye bye." He gets in this carriage, and then they get to a fucking town, and they're like, "Are you gonna stay here tonight?" So he goes into this like tavern or whatever, and he's like, "Oh yeah." They're like, "Oh, you're from out of town." He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to the castle." Everybody in the bar is like, "The castle? Oh."
No, that was in the second film.
It's in the first film too.
It's in the first. I thought in the first film they just stared at him.
It was in both. Yeah. They stare at him.
Yeah.
But the guy's like, he's got a ridiculous fucking mustache,
Oh,
and he's like,
okay,
"Hey,
I'm remembering that again.
you shouldn't go." Because in the later film, in the 79 version, there is also an outrageous guy wearing the same fucking shirt with an outrageous mustache in the same tavern or whatever. Like, what happens is kind of different, but that guy, it's not the same guy, obviously.
My theory is that it's the same guy.
It's not the same guy. Because I looked. Because I was like, get the fuck out of here. But no, that particular thing is like a direct homage to the original film.
Yeah.
Which is fun. That's a bit of fun. But yeah, they're like, "Oh no, don't go. It's dangerous," or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, but I'm going anyway. Don't worry about it. Don't cry for me, Argentina," or wherever he is. Transylvania? Not Transylvania. It's just Germany, right? Wisborg. No, that's where he's going. That's where he's from, is Wisborg, right?
Yeah, where he's from is Wisborg, and he's headed to Varna.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, he gets there middle of the fucking night, and there's the Count out there to greet him in or whatever. And he's fucking weird. He's just stilted, super socially awkward, also incredibly thin, and has horrible long nails. However, his teeth right away aren't as prominent.
Yeah, that took a minute to be revealed.
Yeah. So he comes in, he's like, "Oh, please eat, dine." They have a fucking super awkward dinner. Dude cuts his finger, and then he's like, "Oh, let me get some of that blood." And he's like, "Oh, fucking weirdo." And then
he cuts his finger trying to cut open bread in like the weirdest of ways.
That's on the second one.
No, he does it the same way
in the first one.
Yeah, he does it the same way.
Cutting bread toward himself,
towards his thumb, like
it's like 9. Come on, do you break bread?
Yeah. And it's in that first film, he does it in like the long. He's like taking his time too, just staring at Count. Did we ever figure out what his name was?
It's Orlok. I think you're right. Yeah,
right.
Count Orlok is a different thing, but that's a character from something.
Count Olaf is something.
Count Olaf is from Frozen.
Well,
no,
Olaf
that's Olaf.
Yeah. So who's Count Olaf?
Count Olaf. Oh no, we about to fucking find out, brother. That's from a series of unfortunate events, Lemony Snicket style. That's Count Olaf. Yeah. Count Orlok. And Count Orlok is fucking the fictional character from the black and white rendition of Nosferatu.
Before you even started that sentence, I immediately was like, "Oh, I know who that's from."
No, right. Yeah. When I was like, dude,
I've read those books all the way through. I've seen the film, I've seen the show. I should know Count Olaf right off the top of my head.
You know what? I don't think I mentioned the cast, which I really want to do. Count Orlok is played by Max Schreck. Gerda Schroeder plays Ellen Huffer. John Gottwit plays Abraham Van Helsing. Gustav von Wagerheim plays Thomas Huffer. And Alexander Granch plays Renfield. And then a couple other supporting actors, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I it's weird how fucking old this is and how hokey some of it is and how much I really got into it.
Yeah, the acting.
It is pretty captivating, weirdly.
Yeah, because it's like, keep in mind how much cinema has changed from the dawn of cinema to...
It's got no business being an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Like, but I was into it. I didn't feel like it was long. I didn't feel like it was too short. I felt like it was the perfect length.
You have to keep in mind that theater productions were always, like, longer.
It's an evening of entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with film, I guess they found hour and a half to be a good amount, and that just kind of stuck. Well, I mean, nowadays it's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Fucking, have you seen Killers of the Flower Moon? Evidently not, but it's 3.5 hours long.
Ugh. Oh, I can't do that.
It's really good. It's worth breaking up into 2 chunks. Or if you get just a shitty day outside and you got nothing to do, man, watch half, take a break, take a shower, have lunch, whatever, come back, watch the other half.
I say I can't do that, but at the same time, I've seen the recent season. But it came out a couple years ago, the season 4 part 1 of Stranger Things. Every episode's 90 minutes.
Oh yeah,
and there's 8 episodes.
Yeah, and they're good.
They're good.
Yeah. Came back.
Yeah.
Kind of lost me the second season. Kind of was third season a little bit worse, actually, I think. And then came back strong with season 4. It's a good one. Anyway, back to Nosferatu. So this guy's like, oh my God, he's been bitten by the vampire or whatever. And he's like, oh, I got to get out of here. I got to get home. And he's fucking escapes. Barely. And then...
he tries to climb out of a window and he falls out the window.
But while he's having his blood drained or whatever, his love calls out from wherever the fuck he's from, Wisborg. And she's like, no, stay away from him, because she's having a nightmare, but they can both hear it. It's like a psychic link. So he knows that he's got to go, and Count Orlok is like, I'm going to follow him.
When you said psychic link, it made me think of twins. How there's a theory that some twins have psychic links.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
I didn't know psychic links were in that film.
Oh, I didn't either. I haven't seen it in fucking forever. So yeah, there's this big, like, you know, his big journey back to home or whatever, and he finally gets there, just stricken with fever, all kinds of fucked up, and I'm thinking of the one from '79. What happens when he gets home? He's fine when he gets home, right?
In the first film, he's fine when he gets home. He's recovering from falling out of a window.
Yeah.
In the first film.
Right.
When the doctors get to him. But he gets up, he's like, the doctors are like, no, don't get up. And he's like, I gotta get home. He's fine by the time he gets home. In the first one. But she's sick for whatever reason. What was the reason?
Why is she sick?
Yeah, she's
been having, like, she made like a mind connection with fucking Count Orlok, and he's like haunting her dreams and shit while he's moving next door.
Yeah, and
he takes a boat to get there.
Yeah, he takes a boat.
I actually quite like the boat stuff. The stuff on the boat, I thought was pretty good.
That's cool. That's good. But what made the interesting thing was, because it's a silent film, when the characters speak, you know, they mouth out, but you can't hear them, and they'll put up that panel that says what they say.
Yeah. A lot of big gestures.
A lot of big gestures, and a lot of the words that they chose for the quotes of the characters was very, like, what's the word? Dramatic.
Yeah.
That's not the word I was looking for, but dramatic is a good.
You know what? It's probably just because I'm permanently 14. But when they're like, oh, until the cock cries, I was like, what the fuck? In both movies.
Both movies.
They made sure to put that in there.
They're like, okay, we got to keep this in.
Oh.
Right? It's the 70s.
Sensibilities be damned.
Yeah.
We're going to say the word cock in our vampire movie.
Yeah. But one of the things that really stuck in my head was, like, the doctor was examining the girl, and he's like, oh, it's fine. It's just mild blood congestion. What?
Yeah, I fucking blood congestion, huh? They used to love that shit. Though. Slap some leeches on that motherfucker. Get him out of here.
I mean, the movie is set in, what was it, like 1890 something? I don't remember. But it is set in the late 19th century.
Crazy old. Like, you believe while you watch. I think one of the things that makes this movie work so well is in the era that they're shooting it.
That was only like a couple decades ago.
The costume and everything, I don't believe that cameras existed in the time period where this movie exists.
Right.
And I think that aids it in a way, because a camera doesn't seem like a thing, especially a film camera. It doesn't seem like a thing that could exist in this world.
Yeah.
They do some very cool perspective stuff. With the, like him approaching the fucking doorway with his long ass fucking nails and shit.
Yeah.
And the effect where she's talking to him, but she's looking at him through a mirror and he's not there. And he leaves throughout the room, and you watch him leave the room through the mirror, and you don't see anybody like open and close the door.
There were a lot of clever uses of cinematography in this film. Like, a lot of clever stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Very impressed with... Because, like, these are things that, like, some current films don't do.
Yeah, and some that have stuck around.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy how... It's, like, that's kind of what was, like, really sitting with me through this whole film, was how wildly different, but also similar it is.
Interesting use of... I don't watch a lot of films from the 20s. Like, any, really. But
well, there's not a lot of them.
It was very interesting how they shot nighttime, because when he's like, it's nearly midnight, I was like, oh, it is. Okay. I was like, what is it? 2 p.m.?
Yeah, like full
3
daylight.
PM? Yeah.
Are they in? Is it summertime, and are they in the Arctic Circle? Like, a lot of the scenes were very drawn out. Like, they would stay in one scene for a good, like, 2 to 3 minutes. No weird... Because they've probably just only got the one camera. They've only got so much film.
Yeah.
They're going to do the best with what they've got. And that meant try to drag out the scene, but try to fit as much as they can into the one scene.
Right.
And whether that scene be, 5, 10, 15 seconds of everyone all at once turning dramatically as if this character has said something ridiculous, like, oh, I'm going to the vampire's castle.
Right.
Or this character just slowly cutting a piece of bread.
They're just very much like, there's a vampire up there, right? And nobody's like, why don't you just take 30 fucking swinging dicks up there in the middle of the day and kill that motherfucker? You know what I mean? If I knew if I lived in a world where vampires were real, if there was one vampire, depending on which fictional version, I don't want to say I could take any vampire, but this kind, yeah. Yeah, you just show up at his house in the daytime. That's it.
Count Orlok does not seem that powerful.
No, he's creepy as fuck.
He's creepy.
I wouldn't leave him alone in a room with my kids.
Yeah, he is a real creep.
For sure.
But like,
God, he does he's horrifying to behold.
Yeah.
Like, just looking at him, man, he is a scary looking son of a bitch. Ugh. They did a great job with that. Like, they really brought that, like that kind of, it's what fucking, the guy that wrote fucking, Call of Cthulhu, help me out.
I'm trying, but I'm
help
also,
me out, Nate.
I know his,
no, it's not L. Ron Hubbard.
No. I know who you're talking about, and I know his cat's name more than I know his name.
Yeah, his cat's name was just a racial slur, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck was his name? Oh my, it's gonna fucking kill me. There are nerds screaming at us right now.
I will be screaming at myself on the drive home.
No, it's not Wells. Is it H.G. Wells? No, it's not. That's War of the Worlds.
No.
Motherfucker. Hold on. H.P. Lovecraft.
Lovecraft.
That's his fucking name. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So H.P. Lovecraft really leans into like the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
What's scary about it? You don't know. And this also does that. It gives you very limited information about the vampire, but he's just terrifying to look at.
Yes. the silent film has really leaned in to the well, partly because it's a silent film, but they've really leaned into what you can see, and that's it.
Right. And it works. I
Yeah.
think it works really well.
Yeah.
So Orlok moves in next door, and he slowly is like, trying to bewitch what's-her-face. She comes across the book that her husband brought home that is like, it just tells about vampires, and he laughed at it and threw it on the ground like a fucking asshole. And she actually reads it, and there it is. In the book, it says, the only way to defeat the vampire is that a young, untouched virgin or whatever must willingly give of her blood to distract the vampire until the cock's first cry.
How do you kill a vampire? Distract him.
You just give him what he wants. Oh my God, what is that? It's the sun, bitch. And that's what she does, effectively saving herself and her husband. And
no, she actually dies.
The husband dies? Oh, she dies?
She dies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that final scene is the doctor solemnly looking towards the ground and shaking his head, and then stepping in front of the doorway so he blocks the scene, and then the scene ends.
Yeah. So she dies, she saves her husband, and all is right with the world. But this is the first instance in a story of a vampire catching on fire due to sunlight. There are plenty of renditions where it hurts them.
Right.
And they don't like it.
Yeah.
But this is the first one that's like, nope, he just was incinerated.
Where he dies.
He disappeared, and then there was some smoke left.
Yeah, in this particular scene, it was a, I forget what it's called, but it's where, they record him doing the, I'm dying, and then they stop recording, remove him, and then replace him with a pile of ash with some smoke.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was no massive, burst of flames, because could you do that in 1922 without catching the whole set on fire?
Fucking who knows. I gotta tell you, man, for something from the 20s, I was very, very pleasantly surprised with this.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Let's rate it, and then just briefly, I want to talk about the one from 1979, since we both watched it.
Yeah.
How many fucking, just his face, if you had 10 thumbs instead of 8 fingers and 2 thumbs.
How many Nosferatu teeth?
So okay. So each thumb is actually one tooth.
Okay.
Of the two. So it's not
So
two,
it's not the 2
20.
teeth, because his teeth in this film isn't it isn't the canine.
No, it's like a bunny rabbit.
It's the buck teeth.
The incisors, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fucking
interesting.
Creepy. It's a look you don't see anymore. Actually, I do think they kind of do a hat tip to it in The Strain? Is that what it's called?
Huh.
The TV show?
Ringing a bell, but that bell's very quiet.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Could be wrong. Whatever that vampire TV show is. You know the one I'm talking about with that guy that looks like Mark Strong, but it's not Mark Strong. Anyway, how many Nosferatu thumb teeth you give it, Nate? Out of 10.
That's a good. That definitely is a good question. I don't know. I was having a hard time trying to keep myself focused on it.
Yeah.
So
it's a little slow as you go.
It's a little slow, and it also doesn't help that my ADHD was like, "Hey, I got to do something."
Right. Holy fuck! Did you turn the oven off?
So not to mention that I was also doing research of the film while also watching it, because that was pretty much the only way I could watch it. Again, I'm blaming my ADHD on it.
Yeah.
Not that great, scandal-wise.
That's okay.
So I'm gonna say, because of the impact that it's left on film.
No. Your rating.
My rating.
Like if you were to if somebody else went, hey, I'm gonna watch Nosferatu tomorrow, what do you rate it out of 10?
You know what? I'm 7.
7?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it was a tough watch. But it was pleasantly good.
I am right there with you. I think I'm also going to go 7. That being said, having watched it, I was quite impressed with a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then there's another 50 minutes of it on top of that, which is just people like looking forlorningly or, you know, whatever facial expression they're making and grand gesture, you know?
Very theatrical.
Yeah. Oh, there's
That's
a reason.
the word that I was trying to think of.
There's a reason we don't make those anymore, you know? Like, because they're a little on the boring side. Holy fuck, we can do sound. Fast forward to 1979. They remake it, and it's called... they changed the name a little bit. It's called Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, the Vampire.
Nosferatu... The Vampire. Yeah.
I think it's still pronounced vampire, though.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see here. Where's my cast at, baby? Here we go. All right. Stars Klaus Kinski, Isabel Adjani, Bruno Gans, might be Gans, Marty Groman, Christian Badinas, Walter Langengast, and the guy that played Renfield in that one is Ronald Toper, who I also want to mention. This Nosferatu and the colored version from 1979, we're not going to talk about the whole movie again. I just want to mention a couple of things. First of all, there being audio greatly improves this film.
Greatly improves, and it also helps that it was well done.
Yeah, it does help that it was well done. I mean, you can tell a bunch of it's dubbed, but Jesus fucking Christ, it's 1979. Remake of a movie from 1922.
Yeah.
But the guy that plays Count Dracula, because they changed his name in this one, now he's Count Dracula.
Correct.
Even more horrifying to look at.
Yes.
Because he's got kind of a childlike face, but he also looks so...
They really leaned into
his
immortal,
physical deformity.
Immortally young.
Yeah. Ugh. Immortally young and fucking hideous.
Yeah. And it also really leaned into the creepiness of this character.
Yeah. He's creepy as shit.
Creep into creepiness.
The fact that they can talk, that there's audio, like and any sort of narrative audio to go with it. That dinner scene, 100 times more uncomfortable. 100 times more uncomfortable. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't want to give out too many spoilers or whatever. This one ends a little bit differently. The colored one from 1979. I would say personal recommendation. If you want to check out one of them, because they are kind of the same, the black and white silent one's not bad. If that's not your thing, the one from 79, quite fun, I think. I'd give it of the same Nosferatu thumb thingies. I'd probably give it 8.5. I had a fun time with it.
Yeah, probably about the same. If anything, I'd rate it like one more, like 8. 8 out of 10, because it's easier to watch.
This is the second ever episode of It's Just 3 Movies, where we accidentally reviewed 3 movies.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on. It's our first ever episode, too, because we didn't know what we were doing. We did it, Nate. Recaptured that lightning in a bottle. Continue, please.
Great. Yeah, it's... what was I saying?
Okay,
all right.
I'm too funny to keep up
So, it's... The second movie is easier to watch.
I just think there's more payoff.
There's more payoff. It's slightly better done. Because of just the resources that time has brought.
There are a couple of twists and turns that aren't like the original, which is kind of fun.
That weren't expected.
But there's enough hat tips, like the fucking dude with the crazy mustache in the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is good. If you're going to watch Nosferatu, also check out this film. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
They go well with each other.
So, yeah, that was it. That was our deep dive into the legend and film of the original vampire of the silver screen, Nosferatu. Now we're going to go watch Dracula Dead and Loving It with Leslie Nielsen. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Here's a quick word from our sponsor.
We're going to get up in it, boy.
Listen, we're back. We watched Dracula. We're dead. And you guessed it. We're loving it.
Dead and loving it.
Yep. My name is... what was a joke about the Leslie Nielsen thing?
The Leslie Nielsen
video,
interview.
Yeah. Big fan of Leslie Nielsen. Let's go ahead and cover the Dracula Dead and Loving It stuff that I didn't look up because my phone was still in my pocket. Dracula, Dead and Loving It, is a PG-13 1995 horror comedy film, using the term horror pretty lightly. 1 hour, 28 minutes. It's got a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, look, it's not great, but I feel like that's harsh. It's got a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, 81% on Just Watch, directed by Mel Brooks. Box office, $10.7 million US. Release date, December 22nd, 1995, on a budget of $30 million to $15 million US. I don't know what that means. It was either this much or twice as much. How does that work?
Somebody didn't keep track of the booking.
That's true. Yeah, you can watch this for free on Tubi. This stars Mel Brooks, Leslie Nielsen, Peter MacNicol, Steven Weber, Amy Yazbek, Harvey Korman, and Lizette Anthony. Was there anybody else major in it that I wanted to note? Rudy DeLuca played a guard, but I remember his face. That's pretty much it. So this is just like a slapstick comedy in the same vein as your Naked Gun, Airplane, Police Academy. Do you have any thoughts on that, Nate?
So, I guess the first thing I should mention is that I have seen this film before, but I didn't realize it until halfway watching this movie.
Yeah, it's true. It's weird how shit pops up like that. It was like 2 weeks ago, or like, I don't know, one of the recent episodes of the show, we watched a movie that I had we were an hour through it, and I was like, I've fucking seen this. But yeah, that's a weird thing, and just like one or two little fragments of it just get stuck in the recesses of your brain.
Yeah.
And once you start to reconnect those
and
fucking...
then once it's reconnected, it's like, oh, I remember this whole movie.
Right, yeah.
I remember the coffin being dragged back and forth. And
gotta get in your mind palace, man.
Yeah.
Get in your mind palace and flip through the folder. Flip through the folder for D.
Desperately going through Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Here's all this information of this one movie. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one though.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with it.
It is fun. I guess here's the thing that I like about it, and also it seems like low-hanging fruit. Like everybody that makes comedy movies makes flops, all of them.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they don't make incredible movies also. I mean,
Right.
like Adam Sandler. Are all of his movies home runs? No, they're not, are they? How about all the Saturday Night Live movies? Nope, not a chance. Mad TV, they made a couple of movies. Not great. I don't know, give me another one. Who's some funny people? Broken Lizards. I mean, Super Troopers, fucking hilarious. Super Troopers 2, not funny. The fucking Slammin' Salmon movie? Are you fucking kidding me? No, Beer Fest, Goldmine. It was awesome. Like, the best comedy they've made.
Oh, yeah.
Club Dread, very funny. Slammin' Salmon, awful. Super Troopers 2, not great. Quasi, they made The Hunchback of Notre Dame into a comedy.
Huh.
It's not funny. It's not very funny, though. There's a couple good jokes in it, but like laughs per minute, it's not It ain't got much going for it.
Right, but
Which is crazy because those first 3 movies were just chef's kiss.
Huh.
So that being said, just because it is from a famous brand that makes comedy, comedy's fucking hard, man.
It's difficult. There's a
Can't
lot
let
of hit and
anybody
misses.
say- yes.
All comics of various placement in their careers have bombs.
There is a reason why historically the symbol for the cinema is the laughing emotion and the crying emotion. Because those are the 2 hardest things to do.
Right.
It's hard to fucking force yourself to cry over a make-believe scenario.
Those are 2 of the most extreme emotions.
And the other hardest one is comedy. Because when you're funny, you're funny.
Mhm.
When you're not, it's ugly.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. People get mad about it.
Bad comedy gets people really angry.
Yeah, it's weird. That's weird, isn't it? Isn't that strange? So that being said, is this movie funny? Yeah, I think so.
I had a lot of fun with it. It's a good movie.
Laughs per minute? Not really.
No, but the laughs that are there are pretty good.
Pretty fun dialogue, I
Yeah.
guess. It's nothing.
A fun movie.
It's not doing anything crazy as far as the dialogue jokes go.
Nothing crazy. A lot of the comedy that I noticed was based off of there are a lot of scenes where Dracula was hypnotizing his victims.
Oh yeah.
And their hypnotized state, they're just doing some of the stupidest of things.
Yeah. So point out a couple of similarities here. You start with Renfield.
Yes.
Instead, they've just cut the husband out, and because the Renfield was the husband's employer that sent him to Dracula in the beginning. This time, it's just he's the guy, and he's going there, and he gets there, and fucking Leslie Nielsen's like, "Now you're my slave. Come on," and he's a dumb bumbling idiot.
Yeah, a complete character change from when he got
and
there.
It's the same guy that plays the guy that is cleaning the painting of Vigo the Carpathian in Ghostbusters 2.
Same actor.
Yeah, just that fucking weird guy with the crazy hair that's like restoring the painting or cleaning it or whatever.
Mm.
It's that guy. That's the guy that plays Renfield in this.
He plays crazy well.
Man, he really worked it out. Like he had me audibly laugh a couple of times because I'm like the bit where he's eating the bugs and shit, very funny.
I just watched you grab that spider out of the air.
What's a spider? That's preposterous. What do you? Well, yes, I'm interested. A lot of the back and forth, a lot of the comedy in this is they're like, man, wouldn't it be funny if we did an accent funny?
It is. It is. A lot of it is character comedy, which is really good comedy if played well, and I think it was played well enough.
Some of it works fucking great, and some of it is like, man, the mustache guy. They still had the same mustache guy.
Oh, the mustache
wearing
guy.
the same fucking shirt. He's wearing the same shirt in all 3 movies. I fucking swear to God.
That better be in the new Nosferatu movie coming out.
There is a new one coming out.
Yeah, they're making a Nosferatu movie every 50 years.
Right. Well, yeah, I would. Why not? Yeah. So, Mickey Mouse is out of copyright.
Mickey Mouse is
By the
out
way.
of copyright, except they're still enforcing the copyright.
Yep. Send us your Mickey Mouse hentai at us just to movies@gmail.com. Please don't.
Oh, God.
Man, that'd be weird if just for years I randomly got Mickey Mouse
Okay,
hentai.
well, now that God,
Hello, boys and girls.
congratulations, you have done that to yourself.
It's the Holy Trinity. Comedy comes in 3s. Speaking of which, they stick to that firmly in this movie, and works. You know, Mel Brooks is he's a great comedy director and writer because he's been doing it forever, and that's always worked for him.
Yeah. he's pretty good. I'm sorry.
What's so funny over there, Cool Whip?
I'm remembering the scene in Dracula where he's hypnotizing the
Dead and Loving It?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hypnotized the that lady in the comedy show. No, not okay. Hold on.
The lady in
the
lady
in the theater. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay, the brunette. Oh yeah.
The lady in the theater show.
Yeah.
And he's like, tell what's his face that he's got a.
She's an usher.
An usher.
She's an usher at the theater.
She's usher. So he hypnotized Usher.
Let's go in there. He goes, go in there and say, Dr. Whoever, I have a message for you in the lobby.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay.
And then
there's a little back and forth, a little confusion. She gets it. She goes to tell the message. He's like, and then forget everything I told you. So she just opens the curtain and stares there like just forgot. It's like if you ever get up and go to the other, you're like, oh, damn, I need that thing from the other room. And you walk in there and you go, what the fuck did I come in here for?
And you turn around and leave the room.
You turn around and leave it. You're like, I guess it wasn't important or I'll remember in 3 minutes. And then 3 minutes later, here comes my ass fucking, oh yeah, I remember what it was.
Oh, but she pulled that off perfectly in this film. I think it was probably around 3 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was so good though. Yeah. Because he comes in, he's introducing himself, they're having a conversation or whatever, because she didn't deliver his message that the other guy had a message. And then he comes in and she interrupts and delivers the message. And just...
And the doctor leaves because he's like, oh, I've got a message.
That's the guy who he wants to talk to. Yeah, it's very, very funny. That's very funny.
Oh, yeah, that's a good scene.
And it doesn't have much to... Like, that... That in of itself is that's a funny, life's funny sometimes. Hey, you know what I mean? It's one of those, and it would be funny with not funny people in it.
Right.
The people wouldn't have to be funny in it for it to still be comical.
A very good joke, and then you add on top of the very good performances, and it's just an amazing scene. Because she opens the curtains and she's back to being hypnotized. Because when he said earlier, you'll forget this whole thing.
That was the best I forgot what I came in here for face ever. She's like, you can see the thought just leave her in her eyes. You're like, oh wow, yeah, been there.
She just closes the curtain, walks back towards him. He's like, hello, can I help you?
And the dude's like, very peculiar. Whatever. The whole time, he's fucking pedal to the metal, that guy, man. He can't give it no more gas. What do you, yes, I just saw you did that.
Oh, such a good scene.
I saw you in a spider.
Oh,
like, he's
that's a
silly
good
as
character. There's a lot of good scenes in this film. The scene of Dr. Van Helsing doing a medical examination.
Oh, God. All the people passing out.
That's good. A couple people still standing, so he hands them organs and they pass out. The nurse comes in and she's like, Dr. Van Helsing, 10 out of 10. I've still got it. That's a good scene.
Fucking God, which guy am I thinking of? Steven Weber. Steven Weber, who played Jonathan. Steven Weber, I am pretty sure. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Damn, this is the wrong fucking dude. All right. I thought Steven Weber in Helix. He does a lot of writing. Yes. Steven Weber is in a TV show from 2014 called Helix.
Helix.
Yeah, it's about these people from the CDC that go to where they think there are dangerous outbreaks of diseases.
Huh.
Season 1 is phenomenal. Season 2 is pretty good, but he's like the main bad guy in Season 2. He's a fucking cult leader. And people are having this weird bloodborne pathogen just from this cult. And they're like dying in alarming numbers. Huh. So they go and investigate it, and it's kind of like sci-fi.
Wow.
Yeah. The first season's fucking incredible, though, because they're, like, in a DNA preserve base, like, in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, like, it's got a very The Thing kind of
very
vibe to it.
Highly isolated feel.
Yeah. Good stuff, though. I like it. It's not blowing my fucking doors off, but I like it. How many, did you have a favorite gag, or was it the thing we just talked about?
I think my favorite gag is the forget scene. That theater scene with the usher. That's probably my favorite.
That's pretty fucking good.
Because of my tendency to do that same forget thing.
Yeah.
It's like this is something I've done a bunch, where I will go into one room, forget what I was doing, go back, and then realize that I'm forgetting something, but then I would forget that I already left the room that I'm forgetting to go into. So I go into that other room, thinking that I'm forgetting something, of which then I go back into that second room. Right. And it's just a continuous cycle of going into rooms, forgetting what I'm doing.
Memory just your dump stat. You can learn skills like a motherfucker, but what I was doing 10 minutes ago, forget about it, baby. That's a fucking great one, man. I think my favorite bit, and it's better because they do it twice, is him wearing the Gary Oldman Bram Stoker's Dracula wig thing and then just like taking it off.
I actually love that. That is hilarious.
It's gold, man. It's gold.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
It is a good movie.
That's a lot of fun, man. Because I'll be honest with you, it tracks, though, while you're watching Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves. When he has that weird bun thing, it doesn't not make sense. Like, vampires are very often extravagant, you know what I mean?
They're very eccentric individuals.
Right. It tracks, though, but it's creepy and fucking weird looking because his skin can't pull off the thing that his hair's doing. And then the longer the movie goes on, he looks a bit younger, you know what I mean? He starts to look a little fresher. Fucking good movie too, though, as far as like Dracula goes. We were talking about it. You hadn't seen the Dracula Netflix series?
I have not seen the Dracula Netflix series.
It's like 4 episodes, right? But they're all very long. But they're fantastic. Like, they're super good. A lot of it is in subtitles, I believe. And I don't know if the second season is any good because I never watched it. I just watched the first season of it and was fucking blown away. And then I looked up a review and it was pretty negative. And I was like, I don't want to sink another 9 hours into something that's just okay. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I would very highly recommend the season 1 of that. It's not much of a cliffhanger. Like, they fucking... Anyway, that's a different segment of the show. How many thumbs would you give this? How many wig thumbs? If you had 10 thumbs and all those thumbs had those little wigs on them.
Am I able to take those thumb wigs off and put them on little thumb coat hangers?
Yes.
Okay.
How many would you take off and put on little thumb coat hangers for this as a I don't know, not a great movie, something fun to watch, I guess.
It's a fun movie. I'd say probably like 7 or 8. Cuz it has its things.
Imagine a world where you have to pick one.
Okay. 8. It's a good fun movie.
You can do 7.5 if you want to go in the middle.
7 and a half wig.
Ooh, okay. 7.5 wig. All right. I think I was going to go like 7.5 or 8. I'll go ahead and say 8 because I had more fun with it than I was bored with it. That being said, there was a little period of it where I was a little bored with it.
It had
some of the jokes some of the jokes weren't they weren't as funny as they were trying to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or wait, they weren't trying to be very funny.
They weren't trying to be funny.
It wasn't funny.
And it didn't,
They were just trying to be cheeky, not funny.
Right.
And it doesn't work. If there's room for a joke, there should be a joke in there, I think.
Yeah.
in this type of thing. Like, not in every comedy. That doesn't work in every comedy.
Right.
But for this type of thing.
In this particular type of thing, I wouldn't necessarily compare it to films like Airplane and Caddyshack. I mean, it's still a comedy, but it's
less,
like,
it's less fucking...
Because that's what Airplane is. It's as many jokes, as much as you can, as common as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is a joke.
Yeah.
That is Airplane.
Except
and I would
for-
love to see a new version
And
of
Naked
that.
Gun, but everything that's not a joke in Naked Gun is a parody.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So, hard to compare that to this, but I think fairly good execution, man. I mean, I had fun watching it.
It's a fun movie.
I would watch it again.
Yeah.
Like if it's just like a shitty day outside or whatever, maybe around Halloween. It's bloodless, it's harmless, but it's kind of funny. It just could easily be funnier.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he's like standing out by the bushes and fucking Jonathan looks out the window and he hides behind a bush.
There are definitely some scenes.
They could have just made like a fart noise. And it, like hilarious all of a sudden. You know what I mean? That whole thing, very funny. And that's that brand of humor
Like,
too. That wouldn't be absurd.
Have Jonathan look out the window. Dracula leans back behind the bush. Jonathan turns around. Dracula farts. He looks back, try to look through the window, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he goes, "Is someone out there?" And he fucking Leslie Nielsen go, "Hoo hoo." And he closed the window and turned around and go, "Just an owl with the shits." You know what I mean? Because he stepped back and farted. It's like, "Someone there?" He clearly heard a fart. You know what I mean? Woohoo! Just an owl with the shits. Boom. Move on.
Yeah.
Next thing.
Yeah. Next joke.
Easy little punch up stuff. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Nothing to it. Just needed a punch up, I think. That being said, pretty fun. I have no
it's
regrets
a fun
about watching
movie,
it.
and even with as much comedy as it is, they stuck to the Dracula story very well.
They sure did. Like down to the guy in the bar at the fucking weird bar restaurant.
That
thing.
was a nod to Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Which
Which one? Because they both
yes.
they all have it. It's
Yes.
so weird. I'm gonna put a fucking. I'm gonna like while I'm editing this podcast, the future Danny. You hear me? Google the guys at the bar for all 3 movies and make a thing to post that. Because I bet you there'll be one in the upcoming Nosferatu movie too. Guy just wearing the same garb with a crazy ass mustache.
have all 3 scenes playing at the same time.
Oh hell yeah! Just the guy walking up and you'd be like, "Whoa, what's up, buddy?"
Yeah, it's a fun movie though. I like it.
Oh yeah, good time. Anyway, time for the next segment of the show. Nate.
Hey, what you watching?
What you watching?
What am I watching? What am I watching? We've got a series of shows just waiting for them to come out with new seasons.
Like what? Like what? Name 10.
It might
You don't
actually
have to
be
name
10.
10.
It might actually be 10.
Jesus Christ.
The last season, Stranger Things, supposed to be coming out. We're waiting for what is it called? That show with what's his face and that other guy.
Oh yeah, what's his face and the other guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Umbrella Academy.
Okay. Yeah. Are they doing more Umbrella Academy?
They're doing another season, I think.
What? I haven't watched the latest one.
It's good.
I
It's
did
good.
watch all of the rest of it, and I'm very into it.
It's funny.
I watched
There's a lot
up to
of funny
where,
stuff in it.
spoiler for the Umbrella Academy, whatever season that one of the characters dies at the end, or like resets the universe, or whatever the fuck happens. It's Ellen Page. Or Elliot Page. She like resets the timeline or
I'm
whatever.
trying to. What scene?
They
was
go
he
to
do-
it.
What scene was he doing that?
Then they go to an alternate
Oh.
dimension. It's the end of a season.
The end of a season. It was the end of. Okay.
The teaser is they go to a different dimension where they're all different and they have different powers and they're different people.
So they went back in time, and because Elliot was destroying the world, and so what they did was they managed to stop Elliot, but the world was still going to be destroyed. So, what's his name? The kid, number 5?
We're not trying to spoil the whole shebang.
All right.
But
sorry.
do you know what part that I'm talking? Because you're further than I am. Do you know which part I'm talking about? That's as far as I've seen.
I do, but it can't. Not at this time.
Okay, they all go back into the past.
They go back in the past, and then they go back in the future.
Then
and
they
it's
go
a different
to,
future.
Yeah, that different future.
Yeah.
That's the end of a season, and that's where I'm at.
It's good.
Yeah,
keep watching.
Okay, I will. I like that show.
It's a good show.
The only thing I have really been keeping up with, bruh, is fucking Baldur's Gate 3. I've been sinking a fuckload of time into that. Really enjoying it. Just, I can't state enough. Outstanding game for me. Since it came out in 2023, I guess it would be my 2023 game of the year, but I didn't play it until this year, and if I'm counting it that way, it's already in the top running by a landslide.
I'm really excited for... Well, now that we watched 3 vampire movies, now I'm really like, oh man, now I can't wait for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Is that what the new one's called?
That's what the new one... one
with Willem Dafoe.
I didn't know. I don't think William Dafoe is in this new... No, the game...
No, I was saying because he's in the new Nosferatu movie.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me that.
He's fucking Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. Oh, okay. I can see him being Van Helsing. That'd be interesting.
Like a deranged Van Helsing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that would be good.
Like a little, like fucking, this guy, there's something wrong with this dude.
So, fun fact about William Dafoe, when you play the character in American Psycho. Sorry. When you played the character in American Psycho, what they did was 2 takes. One take where the character did not suspect Bates at all. Bates? No. Patrick something. Who's the killer in
Christian
American?
Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, Chris Chin Bale.
Chris Chin Bale.
Chin Bale.
Chin Bale.
Yeah.
Mr. Chin Bale.
Yes. Chris to his friends.
So, every scene that they recorded with William Dafoe, they recorded 2 takes. Willem. Is it Willem?
It's Willem.
Oh, okay. What was I saying? Every scene.
You got me tripping now. Hold on.
Okay, every scene where they recorded his takes.
Sure, it's Willem Dafoe.
It's Willem. They took 2 takes. One take where his character knew for a fact that Christian Bale was the killer, and the other take would be didn't suspect him at all. And they would, through the editing, they would mix the scenes
to get like the look of surprise and shit.
To kind of to really lean into. You have no idea if this detective guy knew whether or not that this guy was a killer.
Yeah.
You kind of think that he knows, kind of think that he doesn't. No
Doesn't
idea
matter.
because it's
element of surprise, bitch.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Oh yeah, good flick.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
They made a second American Psycho.
I think I watched it too. Who's in it? It's got God, what's her name?
Oh, it's so not.
Is it fucking the girl from that 70s show? Why can't I think of her name? Is it Mila Kunis?
That sounds familiar. It might be.
American Psycho 2?
Not as good as the first.
American Psycho 2. No. Yeah, it is. It is her. Man, I'm pretty good at this. It's almost like I've done a podcast about this shit. Yeah, Mila Kunis. Nailed it. And William Shatner. Booyah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that game. We're waiting for new seasons of Umbrella Academy, Stranger Things, Amazon show From. It's a pretty good one.
What's it called? The Boys?
No, it's called From. The Boys is good.
The Boys is awesome.
But
like,
if you have
that's when
superhero movie,
that's when I'm gonna re-get
what's it
Prime.
called?
Is when The Boys is done and it's over. I'm gonna just avoid the internet for 2 months or whatever. And when it's over, I'm gonna get Prime for a month and just like watch it in a week. I fucking love that show.
It's a good show.
It's fucking twisted.
Have you seen the new The Boys spin-off show where they're in a college?
No, I haven't, but when I do get Prime for a month, I'll watch that too.
It's all right.
Yeah, I hear it's all right. I always wanted to watch Diabolical. Have you seen that? The animated spin-off of The Boys?
Oh, I know what you're talking. I have not seen it.
Yeah, me neither. I bet it's good. I've only heard good things about it, but
the nerd part of my brain was like, do you mean, what was that? Was that other animated
Nate,
show?
I know you can't hear this, but Nate actually pushed his glasses up before he continued talking.
And then I immediately forgot what I was going to say.
Damn it! Damn it!
That other when you said animated superhero show or whatever, I was thinking, what's that show with Omni-Man or whatever he's called?
On Prime.
Also on Prime. Invincible.
Yeah.
That one I've heard a lot of good stuff about.
God damn, that's a good. If you have Prime, that's a great. It's a great comic run. I've never read any of it, but I fucking like perused a little bit of it.
So,
and evidently the comic, like after season 1, they both take vastly different routes.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that.
Because of the way that the story works. The one that you're watching in the Prime series is a variant. They're all variants. There's zillions of them.
Right.
But yeah, he's just one of the many, and this is his story. So I'm very excited about season 2, but I gotta tell you, man, that show is pretty brutal.
So, quick tangent, building off of this, you know how all the Mortal Kombat games on the newer consoles, PS3, PS4, PS5,
yeah,
the ones that aren't.
I suck at Mortal Kombat, dude. I'm not good.
All those games have DLC characters from other franchises.
Yeah.
You want to know two of the characters from two of the DLC characters in this new Mortal Kombat game?
Is it Paula Deen and Colonel Sanders?
No, but that would be hilarious. No, it's Omni-Man.
Oh yeah. I knew that.
And what's his name from that other Amazon show, The Boys? Homelander.
Billy Butcher. Oh yeah, Homelander. I was like, Billy Butcher. I didn't know that, but yeah, I did know that. Yeah, that's fucking cool, man.
That's gonna be cool.
It's weird that they didn't include a character from that Lord of the Rings series that they made that everybody universally hated.
What was it called? The Rings of Power or whatever?
The Rings of Power, yeah, I think that's what it was. It was the most expensive TV show.
The most expensive TV show. And
I watched 3 episodes of it and was like, I'm not watching more.
They were trying. I
was trying hard, bro. I was trying real hard.
They were trying to be, that George R.R. Martin show. They were trying to be that.
Oh, fucking! You talking about the biggest show ever in the world?
The biggest show ever in the world that I can't think. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
They were trying to be Game of Thrones. I was going to
say Game of Toads, but it's Game of Thrones. You're right. I didn't remember. I thought that instead of dragons, they were,
toads.
Just toads.
Just a bunch of magical toads.
Hypno Toad? Come on. They build TV screens, it's over for mankind.
Ugh.
We'd just be a slave species. Because we love a screen. Holy fuck. What else have I been doing? I have been watching the new season of True Detective with Jodie Foster. And so far it's quite good. So would highly recommend that. Oh, and I watched the entire series of Ted. The series.
There's a series of Ted?
Yeah, the teddy bear. The
Seth MacFarlane
Seth
movie?
MacFarlane, yeah.
How many movies did they make of Ted?
2. 2. They made 2, and then they made a series. Yeah. It's pretty good, though. I gotta say, I think the first episode is probably one of the weaker episodes.
Oh, that's the best episode to be the weakest.
It just gets better, man. Like, it's very 1990s sitcom-y, but also with, like, rude humor and a couple of references that still are in the zeitgeist. So it just... Seth MacFarlane knows how to do that shit. Have you ever seen one episode of Family Guy?
One episode of any of Seth MacFarlane's stuff.
Yeah, that's what he knows how to do.
Yeah.
So this takes place in like 1990 something, I don't know. But yeah, pretty funny, man. Pretty good, I think. I like all the additional cast in it, man. Good stuff. Yeah. Other than that, man, I just have been sinking a ton of time into Baldur's Gate 3, which I will nerd out about for about 45 seconds now. So I made a character on Alicia's account so I can play with her online, and I made a Dragonborn, like, Tempest Sorcerer or whatever, and holy fuck, that is one of the coolest characters I've ever made for anything. Like, he's just got the coolest skills and extra bells and whistles and features, and yeah, very cool.
The Dragonborn race with the sorcerer class goes very well.
You have a little something for crowd control if somebody gets up in your grill. You know what I'm saying? I like anything with knockback for a caster, just as like a level 1 throwaway. You know, bang, 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 or an at-will, a cantrip if you can. Thunder wave or whatever it's called. I don't fucking know. Anyway, that's off my nerdy high horse about Baldur's Gate, or this podcast will be 4 hours long about me talking about my Baldur's Gate campaign.
It's just Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, it's just BG3. It's just BG3 and me. That's our new podcast. It's going to be 7 hours long, unedited, of just me playing Baldur's Gate.
And it's a podcast, so you can only hear.
Yeah. Maybe I'll invest in a camera for it. I don't know. We'll see.
It's just 3 hours of you sitting there with the controller, and all you hear is the controller.
Just clickety, clickety, click. And every now and then me going, God damn it. Fuck. Oh, it's over, bitch. That's it. Those are all the audio tracks. And then I just paste them in like that on top of the other stuff if it's been too long since I audibly said something. Just to keep it interesting. If you want to get in contact with the show, you can email us at itsjusttwomovies.com. We are available on... Wait, did you have anything else that you have been watching or were looking forward to watching?
I don't know. Nothing really on my watch list at the moment.
I want to watch Poor Things.
Poor Things.
Yeah, with Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe. It's like a Frankenstein. It's pretty much Frankenhooker. We're gonna do that at some point. We're gonna do Poor Things in Frankenhooker, because it's like Frankenstein, but he just like brings a prostitute to life and is like, I don't know. Yeah, good stuff though.
Okay, now that's just making me think. Imagine
what is Frankenhooker? It's not porn. It's not, mate. It's not.
No, imagine a mashup between Frankenstein and Pretty Woman.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, those are new heights. That's ambitious. Yeah. We're gonna do those roundtable things I was talking to you about.
Oh, we better. That sounds a lot of fun.
I want to have you in on one of them. Because that's funny shit.
You gotta have me in. That's awesome.
That's funny shit right there. Yeah, that's all I've got. I'm out of steam though. Again, I have been Daniel King. If you want to get in contact with us, you can reach the show at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. You can follow us on social networks at It's Just Two Movies. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. The links for all that stuff are in the description for this episode and every other episode. Hey, if you want to help us out and like not do anything, like you don't have to like personally give me money, but we have an Amazon affiliate link in the episode description, and you can click that dude and then just buy whatever you were going to buy anyway, and somehow we get some of it. I don't quite understand how it works, nor do I care. But that's the
I don't
gist.
think Amazon understands how it works either.
Nah, they fucking know they're making money hand over fist. They got teams of nerds. They got enough nerds to fill skyscrapers. Mate, they got nerds on nerds.
Nerds on nerds and
speaking of nerds on nerds, we do have a sponsor for the show. Is 3 a.m. Sweets is sponsoring our show.
Oh, really?
I don't have any of the information because we just kind of came to an agreement this evening. But you can check them out on Facebook. They have a website as well, but I'm afraid I don't know what the URL is. Give it a Google. The number 3 a.m. Sweets. It's like freeze-dried candy. They're fucking awesome, man.
It's good.
They hooked me up with a bunch of them. Dude. They're fucking
really
tasty as shit.
I really like their Airheads.
They are good, like movie night. Movie night snacks. Going to the drive-in snacks, or fucking just long car ride, or any of that shit. But I think that's gonna do it for us. And until next week,
You guys aren't gonna start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's go that phone call! We're a one-eyed Batman!
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with their mind.
Dozen businesses are booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, special thanks for the people who helped make this show. That is going to be Russ, Tafari, God-Sized and Growing, and SUNDS for our music, Lamplighter Productions for our artwork. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to throw out a thanks to Dave, who takes care of our YouTube platform, and Justin, who has started doing our TikTok. You can find us on TikTok at Just Two Movies Pod. Yeah, so hit us up on socials and tell your friends and leave us a like if you could. That's the show.
Oh, speaking of Line 6. Yeah, Mesa Boogies, by the way, are really nice.
Yeah, they are.
Speaking of Line 6, I know a lot of people like to make fun of those combination pedal board things.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a pod. I've got a Line 6 pod.
Dude, the Line 6 pod's a nice piece of hardware.
The pod 2.0.
Did I give it to you?
No, that was actually one of our old neighbors.
I used to have one. I don't know what the fuck ever happened to it.
Mine's the pod 2.0. It's got the volume pedal and the whammy pedal.
Yeah, this didn't have that. This was just like, it looked like a kidney bean.
Yeah, that was the pod 1.0.
Yeah.
The one just the pod.
The pod.